Hello everybody, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is LiyahMckay, aka Leah Millionaire, and welcome to my channel. Today is a very special day because I have my friend, my Ami, my one and only boo, and he's here today and we're gonna talk about everything, our love story. So ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, put your hands together, make some noise for the one, the only MckayMckay! What's up? And what you doing? Say hi to the viewers.
Hey everybody. What's up?
Okay, so like I said, today we're going to talk all things our love story, how we met, how we eventually got to date and eventually get married. So don't go nowhere because it's going to be awesome. So Hans, how long have you been married?
20 years. 7 years. For real though, 7 years.
7 years and 8 days.
We met at church. I came to church when I was 18 years old, right at the peak of my teenagehood, you know.
And I came to church when I was 10 years old, at the peak of my babyhood.
She was a little baby.
Yes, I
Ladies and
was.
gentlemen, she was a little baby.
I was.
Yeah, so when I first got to know her, I thought she was a bit snobbish.
Excuse me?
What? For real, honey?
Okay, whatever.
Yeah, so, but once I got to know her and, you know, we continued going to young people's ministry together, I noticed that she was good people.
Okay, so I didn't go to young people's ministry when I was 10, right?
No.
Like this is like later,
later
way,
on.
fast forward.
Yeah.
Okay, no, that's fine.
Yeah.
So my first impression of him, as much as he says I was snobbish, he was too uptight for my liking. He
Uptight.
was like,
Okay, describe uptight.
you know, like a brother in the Lord, gotta stick my head in my Bible and focus
I was
on
born again.
focus on Jesus type of thing. But I never thought in a million years that he and I could be friends because he was just like too serious for my liking.
Like I said, we went to young people's ministry together and we grew up in the Lord. We grew up even age-wise. And then I got to know her, and at first, to be honest, I liked her. I thought, but at the time I thought she was young.
Baby,
and
tell them when you started liking me. Tell them. Because this blew my mind. Like later, you know, in the years when he told me, I was like, what?
she was young. I mean, what were you? Are you high school?
I was in high school. I was in Form E,
Yeah.
grade 12.
Yeah. But so, you know, I thought to myself, I gotta get born again.
Gotta get saved.
So I sort of like wiped that mentality or that thought from my memory or from my mind and said, no, absolutely no.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I moved on. You know, I even, you know, pursued somebody else at some point.
Yeah.
And, you know, because I thought...
It was a bad idea.
And it was a bad idea. It was a bad idea, you know.
So we were at music practice. One thing that he didn't mention is that besides young people's ministry, we eventually got to do the Ministry of Music together. So our HOD at the time was our pastor. Shout out to Pastor S.
Little Pastor S.
So Pastor S just asked us to do like a song together, to do a duet. And brother was just not having it. He was like dilly-dallying, didn't want to do it. And, you know, eventually Pastor S asked, why don't you want to sing with her? And then Pastor S is like, is it because you feel some song is happening or what? I don't even remember how she put it. But then brother was like, nah, nothing like that could ever happen.
I don't want to get mixed up in civilian affairs.
Civilian affairs. And you said I was too young. Eh?
Yeah.
You're
I
like,
said,
no, she's not
too
my
young
type.
for me.
She's too young for me. I would never think of her in that light. And I felt some type of way. I was like, what does he mean I'm too young? What does he mean I'm not his type? So that's when I went home that day and I realized, oh my gosh, I think this person is under my skin. And I had never thought about him in that way.
I guess I was trying to convince myself that,
You know,
you're young and...
it was not
Yeah,
a good
because
idea.
like she's 5 years younger than me.
And I tend to forget that.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's how it is. But anyway, that was a wake up call then, I guess.
To say, why am I feeling like
What's
this?
happening here?
What's happening? So I guess we both had to like go home and actually ask ourselves some questions, have some deep conversations with ourselves to say, what's up with that?
Well, ladies and gentlemen, she's a beautiful woman, and beautiful inside and out. She has the most beautiful heart. I think we became friends, and I got to know her. I got to talk to her and understand where she is, how she looks at the world, her outlook in life. And I must be honest, she really put out a statement, and I just fell in love with her. I thought this is, and we became very good friends.
Yeah, we became very
like
good.
very
In a short
good friends.
space of time.
Yeah, and we just started talking,
Yeah.
and we used to SMS. There was no WhatsApp then.
SMS.
So we used to SMS each other. I couldn't wait to talk to her. I would call, run out of airtime, go to the shop and buy airtime, come back and call, and run out of airtime.
And at first he was making excuses about, like, can we talk about ministry? Because, like we said, we're working together in the young people's ministry. So he needed some reports on some things. And I was
For
like,
sure. Yeah, I do. I needed the reports. But in the midst of reporting, things happen. And you sort of fall for this person.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's how it is.
So I gave him a chance because I don't want to say I'm a hopeless romantic, because I'm my words, like, what do I want to say?
You're a sucker for romance.
No, that's not what I want to say. But let me tell you
But that's true though.
Let me tell you something. There is nothing more amazing than when a man pursues you with their time, with their heart, with their strength, with their everything. And for me, this person just sought after my heart. Like he talked about, the fact that he always initiated as far as to talk. He couldn't have enough of me, and
let me say something. A friend of mine once told me something. He said, he's a bit older than me, and he said, words are the most powerful seed that you have.
yes.
It doesn't matter what the situation is. If you have an opportunity to talk to her, talk to her. Just plant a seed and just talk to her. You don't know how far that word is going to go. So that's exactly what I did. Any opportunity I got to talk, to send a message, I send a message. I send a scripture. I send, even if it's talking about the weather, as long as we get to talk.
Get it out there.
I got to put it out there.
Yeah.
And, get her to think about my words.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And I guess, I no longer found him to be uptight as I got to know him. I remember one day we talked for the longest time via, text message, talking about, so what's your favorite this? What's your favorite that? I think we took like hours, just like getting to know each other. And I found out we actually have like a lot of things in common. And I was like, this guy is actually fun. And I would laugh at his jokes and he would laugh at my jokes. And, besides the pursuing and the beautiful words and just, the integrity of his heart, like just the person that he was that I got to know, I fell in love with him, and that's why I gave him a chance.
We were friends, and we were in, I already said we were in the young people's ministry together, and we were just comfortable around each other and just talking. But I think one of the most important things is that I had to really sit down and think about it, and think what's happening here, and actually get to
Like
talk
you're
to
not
some
just
people.
wasting time.
Yeah, especially because I had pursued somebody and it didn't work out, and I thought no, I have to I have to make sure that I hear from God, and that when I do this, is this really what it is? So I took time and prayed about it, and I asked God, and I talked to the Lord about it, and I talked to my pastor. I talked to my leaders. I got people around me. It's a very, very important thing to have people around you that you can talk
be accountable to.
Yeah, and I know it's not easy. Sometimes they will ask you questions that you don't want to answer, but believe you me, those are good for you. It's very important for you, because when you get interested in somebody, your heart, it's like your heart takes over. Your mind does not think right. So it's important for you to sit with somebody who is sober-minded,
someone neutral,
who can ask you questions. You can, like, have you considered 1, 2, and 3? What's your intention? What's your plan? So I decided, because at the time I was a leader. I was a young people's leader. So I decided it'll be important for me to talk to my pastor and let him know what my intentions are, let him know what is happening, even before I could talk to her, even before I could make my intentions known.
And I really appreciate that. That is like one of the things that won me over, because I was like, I'm that important, I'm that special, that this guy is not afraid, he's not embarrassed of me, he's not afraid to make his intentions known about me. Because I find that a lot of girls sometimes just like don't appreciate that, or are not willing, to allow the guy to go through those steps so that their relationship is done right.
Very, very important. I think, we all come from different setups, but I think you have to be aware of where you are, and I cannot stress enough how important it is to talk to somebody. So for me, I felt that it was very important. I actually spoke to her sister. I had to talk to her sister and say, because that was the one person who was there, a superior authority over her life. I had to go and talk to her and say, I'm interested in your sister. Is it okay if I ask her out? She had some other parents in the church, some other people that were looking after her in the church. I had to go to them and talk to them and say, these are my intentions. I would really like to do this. Is it okay? And I'm telling you, it wasn't easy, but I felt I had to do it for her,
And I love him for that. I love you, honey.
I love you. So, came the day I decided I was going to tell her. I was going to make my intentions known.
Tell me.
And
thank God you didn't send a text via Facebook. Or, there was not even like Messenger, then via text or whatever.
But anyway, what I did is, one prayer that I always had, that I would always say to God is, when I tell her that I love her, I want to do it in a way that she would understand, not in a way that I thought was best, but I want to say it to her in a way that she would understand what I mean, and it would make sense to her. That was my prayer. Maybe it was a crazy prayer, but
was that difficult to please? Why did you make that prayer?
I guess you know what, I felt you were the person I wanted to get married to. And I wanted to do it right, and I wanted to make sure that when I do it, it makes sense. That was my prayer. You don't go into a plan thinking that you're going to fail. You want to make sure that you do it right once, and you hit the nail on the head. So I remember I bought a piece of cloth. I think it was about 3 meters or so. And I spent the whole night working on it, writing my message there. I had this plan. I was writing my message there, and I'll tell you later what was the message. So I spent the whole night, in my living room. My mother was asleep then, and I was writing on this cloth.
Yeah.
And I then, got in touch with her friend, and we made a plan. We're gonna go. I was gonna go set up, a picnic kind of environment at a park, and then the friend would pick her up and then go to the park because the friend was getting ready to get married. Right?
Sneaky
So
friend.
she would pick her up and then go to that place as if they were gonna check it out as a possible venue for their wedding, and little did she know that. And then I went early and set up and put the cloth on trees, like a banner. It was like a banner that I had put up there. And so they came. So, honey, what tell them what?
Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something.
Yeah.
No, that was beautiful, hon. But but I've told you this before. Like the day that you're gonna ask me out, I knew. I told you, right?
Well, she says she knew about it.
I knew it, and it's gonna sound corny and cliche, but the Holy Ghost told me I'm telling the truth. I don't know if I was praying that morning or whatever.
All things are working for my good.
But I clearly heard him say, today is the day that he's gonna ask you out. And lo and behold, later then this friend then texted me to say, can we go to Lady Brent? And just go and check out this venue because it was actually one of her favorite places to go to. So I was like, Lord, like this place was like 10 minutes or 15 minutes from Maseru through the border. What do I want to say?
But it was in South Africa.
It was in South Africa. Thank you, my love. And when I was at the border, I was like, I hope this guy doesn't show up. Like I was expecting him through every interval. Like, is he gonna show up now? Is this gonna happen? But okay, eventually, to cut the long story short, we went to the park, and before I knew it, this friend was nowhere to be seen, and I'm seeing this beautiful setup, and it's like all my yummy favorite snacks, and the banner is there, and this guy, shows up out of nowhere, and you were not like surprised, guys. He was terrified. He was sweating.
No,
I've never seen you that
I was
scared.
cool as a kid.
I've never seen you that scared in my life. You were so scared, honey.
Was I?
You couldn't even look at me. You were like shaking.
Maybe I was anxious
You were like shaking.
for this moment that defines the rest of our lives. Yeah.
Anyway, he asked me out. Do you remember what you said? You don't even remember what you said. Okay, I honestly also don't remember word for word, but I do remember that you said, I love you, I value you, you're my friend, and I want to spend the rest of my life with you. And yeah, something like that.
And then the banner. Tell them about the banner, honey.
So we call each other Ami. We call each other Ami from the word amigo, which means friend. So the banner was written, "Will you be my Nina?" And it had like a big heart on it, and Nina means girlfriend, right?
Yeah.
That's Spanish.
Yeah.
Spanish.
Girlfriend.
So like, will you be my girlfriend? Because you're already my Ami. So right now, can we take it
Escalate.
to another level? Can
Not
we
really.
you know what I'm saying? So
That was the coolest thing,
And I was trying to keep my cool, like, I'm not even gonna show that I'm like so excited, because at the time I was shocked, I was happy, I was scared. I was like, is this too soon? What is happening? I had mixed emotions going on.
Ladies and gentlemen, I had to wait. I had to wait,
Hey. Getting married or choosing your spouse is the second most important decision in anybody's life. The first one is, making Jesus your Lord and Savior. The second one is the person that you're going to get married to.
Who you going to get married to?
So, of course, I liked him. I was his friend. I enjoyed his company. But like I was saying, I had to ask myself, is he the one? Because, to be honest, at that stage of your life as a young girl, especially because he was not the only one asking me out at that time. So the confusion, the not, being sure as to is he the one. So I also had to take time to really pray to say, do I want to make this person, my husband? So I had to take my time, seek the Lord. And of course, I also had, my mentors that I needed to talk to and just find guidance and counsel. That's why he waited for 5 months. It wasn't long.
Solid months.
It wasn't long. He says he feels like
it felt like 5 years. For real.
Well, it was 5 months that he had to wait.
Yeah. But let me say this. I think it's important. It felt like it was a long wait, but what I wanted was for her to be clear.
Yeah.
I think I wanted for her to. I didn't really want it to rush into it and then make a decision and then later on say, I'm not sure about this. If there was any uncertainty, I think it was only fair.
And I didn't want to break your heart. I don't want to break
Thank you, honey.
I really didn't want to break, because he's so sweet. He's like, he is. He's like a beautiful human being.
Then 5 months later.
5 months later, I decided to retaliate. I was like, there's no way he's going to be thinking that he's going to make this beautiful setup, and I'm not going to be creative as well in my saying yes. So the same friend, this friend has been there like forever.
She is God sent.
The same friend, they eventually got married, and after they got married, they were blessed enough to have a house. And so she invited us and a couple of friends to say, this was also part of our plan. She was now navigating and planning with me, that we go to her house, we go and clean up the house and, get it ready for them to move in. And so what we did is we came up with like a treasure hunt. It was supposed to be like a game fun for everybody else, but it was intended for him. We had like a treasure hunt. We went on a stroll, on a walk, on a hike. Yes.
Walking.
And he had to come up with the clues. We made sure that he was constantly the one having to find the clues to the treasure hunt. And he eventually did. Guys, too slow. He was too slow. Because the last, clue, and answer was saying, I will be your Nina.
Yes, I will be your Nina. And I was confused. I didn't know. I wasn't expecting it at all, So when I saw that, I thought, okay, what kind of clue is this?
And like out of nowhere, all of a sudden, why is
And
Nina?
then everybody is looking at me and they're laughing. And I'm thinking, what's happening?
And she's just shocked. She's not saying anything until I say, me.
Da!
Yes.
Confetti!
Stuff. And I remember they played our favorite song at the time. What's the
BB Winans.
BB Winans and CC.
BB and CC.
All I wanted was to be loved. Dun, 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 dun.
No one deserves to be alone. Yeah, that was our song, throughout all our dating time.
Yeah,
and
we really like that song. And so that day I said yes, and life has never been the same.
Life has never been
since.
the same.
Yeah.
We dated for just over 1 year.
Yeah.
I think it was 1 year
and 2 months.
2 months.
Yeah, because we dated in January and we got married a year later in March.
Good way to start the year.
Yeah.
And then we got married the following year in March. Initially, we wanted to get married in February, the month of love. On a Friday evening. We wanted an evening wedding. And then
action camera.
Then my mom said no. Friday
honey.
is for people who get married at the magistrate court.
She was not having it.
She wasn't having it.
She was like, it's not happening. It's not happening.
So, and then of course in February there were friends of ours who had already booked a date. And so we had to move to March. Destiny. Because the 2nd of March, which is the date that we got married, our plan was, it's okay, it's a Saturday. The 3rd of March, so it's the 3rd of the third month in 2013. That was going to be our first day honeymoon. It was all planned out. And the most beautiful wedding ever.
Like, I have not attended any wedding like that in my life.
Yeah, we should get married again.
We should.
Huh?
We should.
I think we should get married again.
Should we get married again?
You think? If you think we should get married again,
leave that comment in the
below.
comment section below.
Yeah. So, 7 years later, she's still the love of my life, my best friend, my Nina, my Ami, my honey, my boo. My boo. She's still my boo. And 2 kids later, we have a beautiful baby girl and a handsome
man like this.
Baby boy.
Handsome boy.
You know.
Yeah.
So God has been good.
Yes, I was about to say that actually. God has been good, because honestly, sometimes I feel like we've been married, like, I always tell people, like, I think we've been married, I feel like we've been married like forever. Like, this person has been in my life like forever, but not in a bad way. I feel like I've known him all my life, and he's my friend. I don't have to pretend around him. I'm comfortable, and I still love him. He still makes my heart skip a bit. 2 kids later, honey. 2 kids later, I love him more than... I was actually telling him on our anniversary that I love you more than I loved you 7 years ago.
More than I loved her 7 years ago.
Yeah.
I think, you know, the song I sang for her during our wedding, at our wedding reception, was saying, like a fine wine, our love will grow better with time. And that's exactly what is happening.
Exactly.
I've grown to love her more and more each day, and appreciate her more and more each day.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be the man I am if it wasn't for you.
Okay, why are you gonna go poetic and changing your voice?
Yeah, you gotta do it.
Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. This is our love story. So many details, but we thought let's keep it short. I hope it's not too long.
Short.
Him and I can talk. So I hope it's not too long. But thank you so much for watching. Remember to subscribe, leave a comment. We want to hear what qualities drew you to your life partner. If you're married now, if you're in a relationship and you're dating someone, what is the quality or qualities that drew you to your partner? And if you have any question concerning our relationship, on how we met, our marriage, please don't hesitate to leave that comment in the comment section below. We love you. Thank you so much for watching. See you next time.
See you next time. Thank you, guys. Cheers.
Bye.